2 days ago, April 3, 2026, Georgia lawmakers walked out of their final legislative session and quietly handed billions of dollars to some of the most powerful tech companies on earth. No headlines, no mainstream coverage, just a decision that will reshape where AI gets built and who profits from it. If you're watching this in the first 48 hours, you are genuinely ahead of the crowd. This is Digital Dirt Investor, and today we dig into what just happened in Georgia, and more importantly, exactly how ordinary investors can profit from it. Here's what happened. Georgia just ended its 2026 legislative session. Lawmakers had one job: decide what to do about the explosion of data centers taking over the state. Georgia has become one of the hottest data center markets in the entire country. We're talking over 200 data centers already built. Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, all building massive facilities in and around Atlanta. The state had a real chance to pull back the tax breaks these companies enjoy. We're talking about $2.5 billion in sales tax exemptions in a single year, going straight to some of the richest companies in the history of the world. The Senate passed a bill to claw it back. Consumer groups pushed hard. Communities across Georgia showed up to fight. And then, nothing. The House never voted on it. The session ended. The tax breaks stayed. Big Tech won again. And here's the part nobody is talking about. When Big Tech wins in Georgia, data center construction accelerates. And when data center construction accelerates, certain investments become extremely valuable. But the tax breaks are just one piece of the story. Let's talk about power, because this is where it gets really interesting for investors. Back in December 2025, the Georgia Public Service Commission made a historic decision. They unanimously approved Georgia Power's request to add nearly 10 gigawatts of new energy capacity. To put that in perspective, that's enough electricity to power roughly 9 million homes, and 90% of that new power capacity is designated specifically for data centers. This is the largest energy expansion approval in Georgia history, driven entirely by artificial intelligence and data center demand. Now think about what that means from an investment perspective. You have a state government that just protected billions in tax breaks for data centers. You have a utility commission that just approved the biggest power expansion in state history to serve data centers. You have over 200 facilities already built with more breaking ground every month. The digital gold rush in Georgia isn't coming, it's already here. The question is, are you positioned to profit from it? Let me show you exactly what this looks like on the ground. Douglas County, Georgia, just outside Atlanta. This is ground zero for the AI infrastructure boom. Right now in Douglas County, Microsoft has a 300-acre facility. Google is 2.5 miles away. And DC Blocks just broke ground on a 180-megawatt data center campus. 55 acres, 12 data halls, 750,000 square feet. Over $1.2 billion in capital investment, connected directly to a dark fiber network running all the way to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And in January 2026, DC Blocks secured an additional $240 million in financing from Global Infrastructure Partners, a division of BlackRock. This is not a startup. This is billion-dollar infrastructure being built right now in Douglas County, and DC Blocks is not alone. Project Bunkhouse in Bartow County 876 acres, $19 billion planned investment. Project sale in Coweta County, 900 megawatts, $17 billion. The map of Georgia is being redrawn by data centers, and the smart money is already moving in. So how does an ordinary person profit from this without buying land in Douglas County or raising $1 billion? Here are 3 realistic ways. Number 1. Data center REITs. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. It lets you invest in large-scale real estate, including data centers, through the stock market. The 2 biggest data center REITs are Digital Realty Trust and Equinix. These companies own and operate data centers globally. They generate steady, recurring revenue from long-term leases with tech giants. You can buy shares on any brokerage platform, starting with as little as $10. As AI demand grows, these REITs grow with it. Number 2. Utility stocks. Remember that 10 gigawatt power expansion we talked about? That power has to come from somewhere. Georgia Power's parent company is Southern Company, ticker symbol SO. When data centers need more power, utilities like Southern Company build more infrastructure, and investors benefit from that growth. Number 3. AI infrastructure, ETFs. If you want exposure across the entire data center ecosystem without picking individual stocks, ETFs like Global X, Data Center REIT, and Digital Infrastructure Fund give you diversified exposure. One investment, multiple companies, full sector coverage. Here's the bottom line. Georgia just made its choice. Tax breaks stay, power expands, data centers win. And when data centers win, the infrastructure around them becomes more valuable. The land, the power, the fiber, the REITs, the utilities. This is not speculation. This is capital following a very clear signal. And that signal just got louder on April 3rd, 2026. The links to everything mentioned in this video, TradingView for tracking these stocks, Coinbase for crypto exposure to AI tokens, and more, are all in the description below. If this video gave you value, subscribe to Digital Dirt Investor. We dig through the digital dirt every week, finding the real gold before the crowd catches on. AI is the new gold rush, and you just got the map.